Good morning, everyone. My name is Thikho Manyaka, and my research topic was to assess the risk management practices of contractors operating in the South African construction industry. Well, my presentation will be focused on this content, but I'll jump this because of the time. Well, under background, risk management was found to be important to all the businesses, regardless the construction industries, whereby if companies did not implement risk management practices correctly, could have problems at the end. Well, the studies that are used to gather information for this research shows that most of the construction industries faced the risk which led them to fail meeting the desired goals of the project, whereby the risk management came into practice and ensured that the project goals were achieved. Well, under problem statement, it was the risk that continuously caused the site progress delays and the monetary poor outcomes. The monetary poor outcomes is the profit that the project wants to achieve at the end. Or the insufficient utilization of risk management techniques in order to overcome the risk that they might face on the process of delivering the construction project. As the study title. My research comprised of 4 questions. The first question was what are the risks that may be associated with construction projects? And the second question was, how can the factors associated with South African contractors' insurance purchasing intention be understood? Well, the third question was, what are the current practices of risk management? And the fourth question was, how can we assess the barriers to risk management practices? Well, the objectives were drafted in order to give feedback to the research questions. The first objective was to identify the risk associated with construction projects. The second was to understand the factors associated with South African contractors' insurance purchasing intention. Well, the third objective was to examine the current practice of risk management practices. And the fourth objective was to assess the barriers to risk management practices. Well, the aim of the study was to assess the risk management practices of the contractors operating within the Gauteng province in South Africa. Well, and other significant goals that are involved in the construction project, as from the inception up to the execution. The challenges that are faced by contractors implementing risk management practices in the construction, and also to give feedback to the research questions. The methodology that was used, it was the quantitative approach. A questionnaire was used. The questionnaire was designed based on the literature that was reviewed. The 5-point Likert scale was used. The targeted population was the contractors, construction professionals working in firms such as contracting and the consulting firms. Well, the sampling technique was the non-probability, which is also known as the convenience sampling. 60 questionnaires were used were distributed, and 53 were usable. The response rate was 88%. Data was analyzed using the software of SPSS. The mean item score and the standard deviation were used to interpret the data as well. The findings of the study are as follows. The first risk was the lack of qualified staff, and the last risk was risk of bad quality materials, as you can see. Well, the second findings of the study shows the techniques of risk management were 4 of them. The first one was risk identification, the second risk analysis, the third risk response, and the last risk monitoring. In conclusion, the study highlights the major risks that are more likely experienced by South African construction projects. Thus, it can be concluded that the objective was achieved. The second objective shows that clients or project requirements, income, were the most influential factors to contractors' purchase insurance premiums. The factors such as shortage of knowledge on risk management, were developed to risk management. For the objective 4, recent practices shows that risk management techniques are more like the same as the ones on the past decades, but with some improvements in them. Okay, for the recommendation, the first recommendation was recommended that contractors executing construction projects should know of the minor and the major risks that they might face on the process of the construction. Well, the last recommendation was recommended that contractors should consider purchasing insurance premiums in order for them to stay covered and limit their risk of losing much productivity and finance, time, and reputation. Thank you.